What's up, everybody? Dog 1985. There's levels to this. All right, guys, let's talk about it. PlayStation, Sony is working on a gaming service to rival Gamepass. This is not me saying it. This is what all the articles are saying, right? Sony themselves haven't came out and said that they're trying to rival Game Pass, but if you don't want to believe that they did this to battle Game Pass, if you want to believe that they just did this just to do this, then that's your prerogative. Believe what you want to believe. Now, to all you Sony fanboys out there, you Sony ponies, I'm not even coming from a place of aggression. I really want to have this conversation with you. Because this news came out this morning, and I've waited all day, been looking at Twitter, been hopping in and out Twitter spaces, listening to people talk, been watching some videos that people have dropped, looking at the comments. And I'm at this point, man, I'm just exhausted. I'll be honest with you, man. The way you ponies gallop all around arguments and the way you guys move goalposts, it's impressive. It truly is impressive. All of a sudden, you gotta understand, right? This is just a perception. And sometimes perception is reality. All of a sudden, Sony fans are pro service. I can only speak about my experience. I'm not going to speak on anybody else's experience. But when I started this YouTube channel and when I started talking about Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, man, I got destroyed. I remember people saying, "Hey, you a Game Pass a shill," all this other stuff. Um, People said you're not a gamer. Real gamers buy games. You guys rent games. That was a thing, right? I don't rent games. I buy my games. Subscription services are gonna kill gaming because it's about quantity. Yeah, quantity, not quality. All this other stuff. The whole narrative was anti-gaming service. And then when that didn't work, and only when that didn't work, you Sony ponies would go to the, well, PS Now has more games. Well, PlayStation already did that with PS Now. And we kept telling you guys, again, not speaking for anybody, I kept telling you guys, PS Now is good. I subscribe to PS Now. And this is one thing that bothers me, right? There's people that talk about PS Now that don't even have it. So it's like, why are you talking about something that you don't even use? Right? It's like giving props to a game that you don't even play, right? Is that fair? Right? Is that fair? Okay. So I have PS Now. And I have PS Now because of Game Pass. So Microsoft showing me the value in that subscription, I saw PS Now. And even though PS Now is not as valuable as Game Pass, in my opinion, because I do care about the day and date. And if you don't believe me, look at how much I've played Forza. Look at how much I've played Halo Infinite. Just look at it. So the day and date does matter to me. Okay. But I still saw value in PS Now because PS Now was cheaper. And PS Now has a whole bunch of great games on it. And whether anybody tells you this is coming from an Xbox. PlayStation has amazing games. They really do. They have great story driven first person or single player narrative games. They really do. They do. They're great at telling stories, games that look beautiful, games that captivate you. They have those great games. And a lot of those games are on PS Now. Not all of them, unfortunately, but a lot of them are. I've been on this channel plenty of times saying that if PlayStation did something like Game Pass, it would be tough to compete against, especially if they did the day and date. And all I got was, "You're stupid, Doc. Sony will never have to do that. Sony doesn't have to do that because they produce quality games, all this other stuff." Okay. Then the other argument that I heard against Game Pass all the time, again, my channel's been up for, you just go through my videos, you'll see the comments. And again, I want you to be honest, Sony Pony. If you left a comment like this, just be honest. Everything on Game Pass is old games. Who buys the next generation console to play old games? Microsoft is stealing from you guys, giving you this service that's full of old games, ignoring the whole day and date. Old games, old games, old games. And then here's the deal. We have pointed out, plenty of Xbox fans have pointed out, how everybody's playing old games. Because there's only so much you can play Miles Morales. There's only so much you can play Ratchet and Clank. There's only so much you can play Returnal. Those are the only ones I can think off the top of my head. Oh, Demon Souls. Only so much you can play Demon Souls. And Demon Souls is arguably an old game as well. It's just remastered. So you are also playing old games if you have a PS5. Most likely, if you have a PS5, I guarantee you, you won't leave your gamer tag on the bottom of this video, because if we look you up, I promise we'll be able to find that you've played an old game recently. But that's okay. The whole point, I'm telling you my experience, I got attacked for playing old games and for bragging about Game Pass when everything on Game Pass was old games. Now this new PlayStation service comes out, right? Or they're going to come out with it. And they talk about the tiers. And one of the tiers is going to have PS1, PS2, PS3 games, old games. And all of a sudden, all I hear is, with one sweep, Sony already has a better service than Game Pass. Wait a minute. So now are you pro service? Are you pro renting games now? Are you pro old games now? And this is why I'm honest, I'm just tired. I can't even argue with you because you don't even argue fair. The way you change your narrative and the way you move the goalposts is just ridiculous. So now a gaming service is good because Sony is doing it. We've been telling you, yo, Game Pass is great value. I have no doubt that this gaming service that Sony is going to produce is going to be good. Whether or not it's going to be on same par with Game Pass, I don't know. Price is going to definitely matter, right? And if they did do day and date, boy, I'm being honest with you, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for Game Pass to compete because Sony has those great studios. Nobody is denying that. Microsoft changed the game in the way that they wanted to compete this generation. And I am glad that Sony is not fully listening to you. I know you think you're the biggest Sony fan ever, but Sony's not fully. I told you guys that if you don't think Sony and Nintendo are looking at what Microsoft is doing with this whole ecosystem thing, and you don't think they're looking at like, maybe we should tap into that, then you're fooling yourself. Clearly, they're doing it. So you're absolutely right. Competition does make things better. Microsoft decided to compete a different way, and now Sony is following suit. Here's the other thing I hear. Oh my God, I can't believe you guys even make this argument with a straight face. Sony is not copying Microsoft. Sony did it first. Look, dog. Look. Let me explain something to you, okay? Just because Sony had a service first, okay, and then Microsoft came out with a service, right? It doesn't mean that that Microsoft copied freaking Sony, okay? But is Microsoft service competing with PS Now? Yes, but they did it better. Now Sony's turn is to go ahead and have this service compete against Game Pass and make it better. You don't think Sony is making this service so that people can subscribe? You don't think so? You don't think that's what they want? That is what they want. But if I open up a bakery and you open up a bakery and I sell cakes and you sell cakes and cupcakes, and then I decide to sell freaking cakes and scones, right? Because I see that you added something else to your stuff, right? Am I gonna say, hey, you copied me because I opened my bakery first? Like, that's crazy. Like, no, we are clearly in competition, and I'm trying to provide my customers something a little bit different than yours. But guess what? If I decide to do exactly the same thing that you did, it's okay. If Sony decides to copy Microsoft subscription for subscription, it's okay. Meaning if they wish to do day and date, it's okay. Could you imagine if you were able to subscribe to this and get God of War, PS5 version, day and date. If most of you see, this is what you don't understand. If most of you are already going to subscribe to this, why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you look at Sony and be like, all right, so Microsoft is doing the same thing, except their first party exclusives are day and date. And you believe that the Sony first party exclusives are better. So why wouldn't you want it if you're already subscribing to it? Now, if you're the person that's going to stay on the tier one of this Spartacus subscription, whatever, which is just PS Plus, as I, excuse me, as I read it, then yeah, you don't care because you're still going to pay $70 or whatever the price is going to be for that God of War. Probably $85 when they put the DLC and all that other stuff. But regardless, I'm just trying to understand how you guys with a straight face are now championing this. Anyone that's an Xbox and Game Pass fan, we have the right to say, yo, yes, Sony, yo, Microsoft, here we go, here we go. Now this is great. This is great for us because Game Pass is really gonna have to think about, okay, when are we gonna raise the price of this thing? We got to make sure Sony doesn't catch up to us. This is great for anyone that has already bought into the subscription model. That's okay with renting games and buying games whenever you want. That's another thing too. You guys act like when we're renting these games, like we can't buy them. Like we could buy them. We could buy them. You know that, right? But now PlayStation is putting their hat into this. And by God, man, like I'm happy for it. I got asked a question one time when I was on my big brother's podcast. Shout out to you, P Rock. He said, "What are you playing on Game Pass? I mean, what are you playing on Xbox?" And I say Game Pass, and I got laughed at, and people started putting it on Twitter. Doc said he's playing Game Pass, and then I made a video. I said, "What am I playing on PlayStation? I'm playing PS Now," and that's facts. I played God of War 2018, downloaded it from PS Now. I got Horizon, first Horizon West, not Horizon West, Horizon Zero Dawn, got it from PS Now. Heavy Rain, got it from PS Now. What else did I download from PS Now? The Last of Us, PS Now. So I'm playing PS Now, so I'm not lying, I'm not capping with you. And when I get a PS5, I'm going to use PS Now. I have bought into the mentality of subscription services to play games. And for me, it's a value. So people like me, people that have been champion Game Pass, it makes sense for us to look at Sony and be like, yo, good job, Sony. But for you that have been talking trash about Game Pass, and now Sony is doing something similar to Game Pass, out of one side of your mouth, you're saying, no, it's not like Game Pass. It's great. Like, in the ways that it's not like Game Pass is worse because you're not going to have the day and dates. Cloud gaming, Game Pass already got it. Are you going to be able to download these games finally on your PC with this new PS subscription? I don't know, but if you can't, already worse than Game Pass. Already worse. Look, man, I'm not gonna try to argue with you because I know the comments are gonna be ridiculous and the way you guys move the goalposts. Like, if there's anything I learned is that. And then I saw something so disingenuous that I couldn't believe it. Somebody said the problem with Game Pass was never the service itself, which is straight BS. Straight BS. You know how many times I heard Game Pass is gonna kill gaming because it's a service, all this other stuff. But this person said the problem with Game Pass is not the service. It's the fact that Game Pass doesn't have great games, has mediocre games. And I am looking at Game Pass and I'm like, yo, Ori Will of the Wisp is in there. That's a great game. Now, if you played it already and that doesn't entice you on Game Pass because you played it, that's a different story, right? But to say it doesn't have great games, not accurate. Forza 5, it's a great game. Whether you like it or not, the masses show it's a great game, okay? Halo Infinite, great game. Mass Effect is on Game Pass, great games. Fable on Game Pass, great game. Any of the Halos, if you liked it, what's your favorite Halo? Please tell me what's your favorite Halo. You don't like any of the Halos? Okay, cool. But if you have a favorite Halo, it's on Game Pass. Great game. There's great games on Game Pass. Now, if there's great games that you have already played and you don't wish to revisit, that's cool. Now, if you're going to say there's great games, but they're old games, then keep that same energy with this subscription because all it's going to have is old games. I'm okay with old games. I'm okay saying it's old game. I just don't understand how you could say now that old games are okay on a service when you were complaining about Microsoft having old games on a service. Make it make sense. I am excited for this Spartacus thing. And another thing that would make this even better if most of those games, or if Sony did something similar to what Microsoft is doing, where those back compatible games are playing better. They don't gotta call it FPS boost. They could call it whatever they want. But if you look at the games, the old legacy games, title games that run great on the Xbox Series X because of FPS boost and stuff like that, and just the enhancements, and these are games that are on Game Pass as well, man, it just makes the service even better. Adds a little bit more value. If Sony did something like that, to especially like their first party games, could you imagine playing something like Jack and Daxter, upscale to whatever 4K, playing at 60 frames? Oh man, come on now. Could you imagine if the infamous 1, 2, right, upscale to 4K running at 60? Oh man, that'd be awesome, would it not? They said old for PS1 games, even stuff like Spiral the Dragon, right? Come on, man, this would be awesome. I'm allowed to talk about old games because I've been repping old games from a while. If you have been poo-pooing on old games because they were on Game Pass and now you want to praise them, you look dumb. And I can't let you get away with it. I'm not coming from a place of aggression because I truly want to understand how you could make these statements with a straight face and act like this is the greatest thing since sliced bread and not see that your fanboyism is showing. Now, for all of you, this is the caveat to this. For all of you that are man enough and woman enough to say, no, Doc, this service is going to be better because it's Sony and I'm a Sony fanboy, Sony fangirl. So whatever Sony does is great. Whatever Xbox does is wrong. I respect that. Stick to that. So because it's Sony doing it, that's why it's great. The whole how is Sony copying Microsoft when PS Now was first? So then why would they need to change the service? Why would they need to add it with PS Plus? What else did that? Game Pass Ultimate. Why would they need to add or enhance their cloud game? They're gonna have mobile cloud gaming. Is that what they're gonna do? Come on now. But it's okay if they copy. Because if you copy something but you do it better, there's no harm, no foul. Now, depending on how the service rolls out, makes sense to probably get a PS5. But I wasn't getting a PS5 to pay $70 to play Returnal, to pay $70 to play Ratchet and Clank. No, I wasn't doing it. But for this, if they roll this out right proper, perhaps. We'll see. I told you guys when I got asked, what do you play on Xbox? I play Game Pass. What do you play on PlayStation? I play PS Now. Spartacus comes out, whatever they change that code name to, I'm going to be playing that. I believe in subscription. And it's all thanks to Game Pass and Microsoft. Doc 1985, there's levels to this. I really want to see how you're going to switch this and pretend like you didn't tell me that I was dumb for getting an Xbox Series X to play old games. that services were going to kill games. And how real gamers buy their games and don't rent them. We out. Peace.